Welcome back to the studio of Art by Wendy. Today, I want to play with values. Get to see light differently. To do that, I use these fabric pastel pens. They're really cool. There's 8 pens. They come in blacks and grays, and some have points and some have brushes. There's some soft grays, there's some real dark ones, and there's some fine tip ones and thicker tip ones. So I decided to do some drawing of some trees and bushes and ferns, a little bit of nature, some of my favorite stuff to draw. So first of all, I'm just kind of playing with the pens to see how the nibs work. I started with this fine tip nib and did a bit of layout. It was nice for the ferns, but I decided it was not thick enough or strong enough for the tree. So I went back, and that's the beauty of working with ink. You can actually go back and rework an area. The trees have these dark, shady, mossy areas on them, so I decided to start working with them as well. As you can see, the tips are really nice to work with. And I found it was really neat to just get in there and just focus on where the darks were. Such an important part of the drawing and a great way to, just see how your composition is going to work and how things are going to fit together. The ferns just seem to come alive with this pen, actually. I found it was great to work with. Drawing like this with my pens and scenes from nature, a lot of it is kind of like what I will be teaching with this online sketching course, using pen and watercolor to make some pictures of nature. Outdoor sketching is, as you know, one of my passions, and teaching skills for that is important. I think you'll find it'll carry on into your regular work as well. You can see here as I'm working along, gathering the values, trying to keep to the very darks and to the midtones, and really leaving the lights. The composition is really coming together. I find for myself really getting that darkest dark and finding it and placing it is the hardest part. It doesn't, even though I'm using black on white, often you kind of shy away from that really dark. And yet, as I move through this, you can see I keep going back because I realize certain areas have to be darker in order to bring out that drama that I'm looking for. As you can see from my reference picture, I'm mostly focusing here on the left-hand side of the picture. And just to give you a heads up, I did in fact carry the picture through to the other side of the page and finish it. So here I'm really looking for simplifying too. I'm not going to draw every single thing that's there. There isn't room on the paper to do that. So it really makes you kind of focus on your composition, picking relevant shapes and putting them in, and kind of deciding what is relevant. I'm sort of looking at what balances, and so as I work, I'm looking to see what things I can add to kind of touch up that area, give it some interesting shapes, interesting values. And that's really what you're doing all the time when you're drawing, is trying to make interesting shapes and values. I'm leaving the back plain and just focusing on the foreground. Working on little sketches like this in your sketchbook are great ways to really have a look at values and see what makes things work, how you can save the light, and have a bit of fun.
Wendy teaches outdoor sketching classes in the summer, and she teaches in her studio and online throughout the year. Wendy produces original work in pencil and in watercolor. She completes commission work, particularly pet portraits, and produces cards and prints from some of her work.